Suicide rates among Inuit youth are among the highest in the world, at 11 times the national average.
Kangirtugaapik nunaraqaraanguvaqikaqtaarummi inoqartini 1000 palunni. Kangirtugaapimmi naniyunnaqayartai Ilisaqsivik.
Ilisaqsivik is a community-based wellness organization. It's a nonprofit. It's a registered Canadian charity. Our mission is to promote wellness in the community. And we think of wellness as in a broad picture. We have over 30 programs, separate programs that all promote wellness. One of our most important and successful programs is actually a hip hop program. December 2005, when a group of kids came to, I think there were like 5 or 6 kids, came to my office and right before the Christmas break and started to sort of complain that we never do anything for the youth. And then we heard about a hip hop program in Iqaluit, and we heard that this group called Blueprint had come to Iqaluit, and they had done this, they called it social work through hip hop workshop in Iqaluit, and they'd come and they had all these like real break dancers, and they did a week-long workshop where they taught a group of young kids dance, and they also taught them like when they would wear them out with dance, and then when they were, all worn out from dance, they would take that opportunity when they're having a snack or something to deliver these positive messages about wellness to them, about, their first message is that, hip hop isn't all about booty shaking and curse words and being in a gang and all that kind of stuff, that hip hop was actually born out of, in the South Bronx, and it was born out of a group of people that wanted a voice. We applied for funding and got Blueprint to come up here, and they did a workshop up here. And we had like 70 youth attend that workshop, and that was, I don't remember the exact month, but in the first few months of 2006. And when we did that workshop, we hired a woman named Mika Panilu to basically do the logistics for the workshop and help us coordinate the workshop. She was on the youth committee in town. She knew a lot of the youth, and so she was like a perfect choice to have do that. She did an awesome job on that workshop, and she also got involved with hip hop and sort of really, really liked the message and liked the way it made her feel, and her kids were participating in hip hop. And so she got into the program, and we looked for funding to get her to make this into a job.
2006 ngoti logo hip hop pegero semayo asuwijwaro neusikana me ameli nertiangina me akaungilo takate logo kan tugape temangane neusikana me akaungilo tametu sakanila semaguna tuta amaro ilinertiak palar semayo amiswaro lute amaro ten ongatano amisutigila mayo sigare amano kasemayo am 6 ngokori lautoang yana tumono kasemayo teko hip hop mo pakata twin now lutit kautigiyak.
Hey, what's up? It's Old Man Buddha. I'm the founder of the Blueprint for Life projects that have been happening all over Canada's Arctic and in the inner cities. And part of what I love most about our program is that not only are we working with some of Canada's top dancers, but with some of Canada's top youth facilitators. And our message to young people out there is, you know what, even though hip-hop may have started in New York, in the South Bronx, it started with young people who feel a lot like you may feel inside. They feel like the rest of the world may have forgotten about them. They feel like they don't have a voice. And so we're all about the positive hip-hop, but we're about you adapting hip-hop to represent who you are in terms of your own culture. So we'll do things like throat singing and beatbox, or get elders on the DJ turntables doing scratching. And the message is that when kids feel empty inside, and when they feel like no one's listening, you can find a voice. And you can find a voice through this worldwide movement. It's not gangster hip-hop, it's not bling, it's not the booty shaking. It's about expressing who you are and the art that you bring. So if you do beatbox and throat singing, then that's cool. That's hip hop. If you dance and get down in the circle, that's cool. That's b-boying or b-girling. That's hip hop.
Hip hop for them can be the same sort of vehicle to empower, a vehicle of empowerment, a language of empowerment for them. And so like that's one of the first messages that Blueprint had. And there are other messages where, you know, that you need to eat good food, because if you don't eat good food, you're not going to have energy to be able to dance. And so, you know, it's not a you need to eat good food or you're going to get diabetes kind of message. It's a you need to eat good food so that you feel good, so that you can dance, so that you can be the best dancer you can be. And, you know, you need to not smoke, not because smoking's bad and you're going to get cancer. Like, those are all true, right? But you need to not smoke so that you can breathe, so that you can be a good dancer. You can't be a pack-a-day smoker and a good hip-hop dancer. It's impossible. So that's their message about smoking, and their message about drugs is the same. Like, you can't be a drug addict and a good hip-hop dancer at the same time. One is gonna win. You have to make a choice. And so we really like those messages, those positive messages. You know, we saw immediate positive impacts from this program. We saw kids stop smoking. We saw kids stop taking drugs. We saw an immediate reduction, according to the Health Center, in suicide ideation in a lot of the youth that participated in the program. We saw immediate reductions in sniffing, like solvent abuse. And so, like, we were thinking, wow, it's amazing. We got phone calls from parents about how their kids were happier.
Rock, smile, pose, bump. Here, effects, and this is.
I'm Angeline Iwalu from Igloolik.
Yeah, and I'm from Baker Lake. We've known each other for maybe 3 days now.
3 days.
Well, for me, I got into hip hop. I've always been into hip hop, but at first I thought hip hop was gangster rap. Like, when I was young, I looked up to the people, like the false idols like 50 Cent, The Game, all those guys. Then Buddha, all of those guys made me realize what true hip hop is, like social working, being happy, working as a team. For you, it's
I just like hip hop.
there's something to do, man. Like,
Yeah.
up here, there's almost nothing to do.
There's nothing to do,
like
and
no places to hang out. Like,
yeah.
this place is cold, so the best thing to do up here is just chill out, hip hop, beatbox, all that. Hip hop has gave me the opportunity to actually shine, like actually be in front of the crowd, get noticed instead of laying low doing drugs, hang out with the bad crowd. Like, this is actually like gave me a place somewhere where I'm actually welcome. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Down, think, back, 1 and 3. Down.
Hip hop it's the smallest part and it's the biggest part in a lot of ways, because hip hop is the hook. Hip hop is what'll bring the kids there. But if you just have a dance workshop, that's not going to do anything really. Besides get the kids all riled up. The circus came to town, basically, you know, and then they left, and then everybody's jacked because the circus came. Everybody's super excited. So yeah, what I'm saying is it's not the solution for everything, but it was a good beginning and a good way to like connect with youth who we weren't able to reach in our other programs that we were offering. When a youth in our hip hop program or a youth in another program all of a sudden stops coming to the program. Mika goes to find out why, you know, or the kids in the youth hip hop program or the kids in the drop-in, like they organize and they go find that youth and find out where they are and why they're not coming and what's going on. And we've managed to continue to find funding to pay for Mika's position, which means that we have continued to have somebody as a youth counselor who's continually working with not only the hip hop kids, but all the youth that go to our programs. That is why this program has had the long-term impact that it's had. My advice would be like, yeah, bring them in. Bring people in who it doesn't have to be Blueprint, but it needs to be people who understand that this is a wellness project first, and who have the capacity to deal with issues when they arise, because we have lots of disclosure that happens during these workshops, and you need counselors around who can deal with that. So you need to have the community be alerted that this is going to happen. You need to have all helpers, all counselors and other volunteers, elders, people who help, alerted that this is happening, so they can either be there or sort of be on standby. The reason it's successful is the youth run the program, right? And they have Mika who guides them and who helps them, who coordinates them, but we never force anything on them. Like when the youth started, a lot of the youth in the hip hop program weren't interested at all in drum dancing or throat singing. But because the elders got involved, because the elders in Clyde River are so strong and supportive, because they got involved in the hip hop projects, and they actually went and tried hip hop dancing and stuff, and did scratching and all this crazy stuff, and showed that they were supportive of the youth then actually started wanting to ask the elders about their stuff, like drum dancing or throat singing, and their like jigging dancing and stuff. And they've actually asked for workshops because of that. And again, it hasn't come from me, hasn't come from Mika, it's come from the youth saying, we want to learn how to throat sing so that we can incorporate throat singing into our beatboxing. We brought in drum dancers last year to teach some drum dancing because they wanted to incorporate drum dancing into their hip hop routines. So the basic message is like, if you want the youth to really be involved, if you want it to be their project, that they need to actually have ownership of it, and you need to just support their ideas and do what you can to listen to their ideas and not manipulate it. The fact that the people who are participating in hip hop, and as well our other youth programs, have adults who are trained, who support them and support their programs and are there for them, and make sure that Ilisaqsivik's drop-in opens when it says it's supposed to open. The C Hall, community hall, is open for hip hop practice when it's supposed to be open for hip hop practice. So many times it's the adults, I think, in town that let the youth down. You start a program for youth and youth start to come, and you have 3 or 4 months of like really good attendance and really positive things happen. And then, you know, maybe an adult is sick one day and doesn't show up, and doesn't get a sub to come and open up that night for them. And the youth all come and they're geared up to participate, but no adults come there to open up the center for them. It only takes once or twice of that happening, and youth are like, well, I'm not going, because like, who knows if they're even going to show up to go. The adults, it's almost like, well, the adults don't care anyway. If you're a youth and you feel like the adults and the elders are really, really into what you're doing, I think it helps a lot. It helps bridge that gap. It helps youth have more confidence in the adults. And if they have more confidence in the adults, they will talk more to the adults, I think. And that communication is what we're trying to foster with the hip hop.
So let's start healing each other. I'm so proud of all you kids out there in the north. One love and peace from Old Man Buddha. What's up?
If you would like to get more information about suicide prevention resources for First Nation, Inuit, and Métis youth, go to www.honoringlife.ca.